Hello there, I'm John Tayer, President and CEO of the Boulder Chamber, and I welcome you to our bi-weekly Chamber Chats, which is our opportunity to have a conversation with our Boulder Chamber membership and the business community at large about some of the work that we're doing here at the Boulder Chamber to support your business success, lift our economy, and make sure that our community continues to be the beautiful, wonderful place we love. So today, in particular, I'm excited about a conversation we're going to have about the integration of Boulder Transportation Connections, an organization that supports mobility options for our workforce and residents in our community under the Boulder Chamber, which you'll see is going to have great advantage for supporting our workforce mobility. But before we start that conversation, I want to give you a couple of announcements. So first of all, we're all still reeling from the terribly tragic shooting at the King Soopers. And the Boulder Chamber is interested in supporting both mental health concerns that I know many of us in our community are dealing with, as well as making sure that we are all protecting ourselves against any type of incident like this in the future. So next week, we have teamed with Downtown Boulder Partnership, the Boulder Police Department, Mental Health Partners of Colorado, and the City of Boulder to provide two programs which we think are going to be very valuable to our members and business community at large. The first one is going to be on Tuesday, April 20, and it's talking about trauma and the grief process. And it's going to be led by our friends at Mental Health Partners of Colorado, and that's going to be at noon on April 20. So urge you to attend, learn some skills about coping with these kinds of tragic incidents, and also services that may be available to yourself or others might be in need of that kind of support. And then second, on Wednesday, April 21st, we'll have a program called Emergency Protocol Preparedness. And that's going to be presented by the Boulder Police Department. And they're going to help you to understand how to identify threats, to then address threats of and response to what they call an active harmer. And this is going to be free programming for not just the Boulder Chamber membership, but the community at large. So make sure to spread the word. Again, that's April 20th at noon for talking about trauma and the grief process. And then April 21st at noon, which is the emergency protocol preparedness. And then something that is just a little bit more, I'd say, stress relieving, and that is we're excited to announce the Boulder Chamber Golf Tournament, which is presented by Blue Federal Credit Union. Now, this is a great networking opportunity and a chance to show off maybe your golf skills or lack of skills, in my case. But it's absolutely fun, and it's a great way to get out there, connect with Boulder Chamber members and many of our industry representatives throughout the community. And that's going to be on May 26th. And we know that sells out. So we urge you, whether you're a solo player or going to get together with a group, to sign up now to make sure that you get there for this wonderful event. It's a great opportunity to get out in the links and also connect with Boulder Chamber members and business community members at large. And then finally, we have on April 21st from 4 to 5 p.m. our business after hours. This is going to be a great opportunity for some small group networking. We're also going to have some Earth Day trivia for prizes and all sorts of surprises. So make sure to show up. That's April 21st at 4 to 5 p.m. And you can register online and also check out online all the other events and activities that we have prepared for you through the Boulder Chamber. Should be all interesting stuff, and want to make sure we get you engaged with us. So check out the Boulder Chamber website for more information. So now it's my chance to start our conversation with representatives of Boulder Transportation Connections in the City of Boulder about this new integration of Boulder Transportation Connections underneath the Boulder Chamber. We're very excited about this, and I'm so excited. I'm going to get the team here online with our special deluxe view, gallery view so we meet all of our wonderful friends at Boulder Transportation Connections in the city. And who we have with us today is, first of all, Lori Call, who is our Senior Director of Policy Programs. We also have Joan Lyons, who is Planning and TDM Projects Manager. And then Elaine, who is a Sustainable Transportation Planner. And then finally, not least, great friend of ours at the City of Boulder, Acting Transportation Planning Manager, Chris Hagelin. So I'm going to start with Lori. And Lori, I'm just wanted to ask you, why should members of the Boulder Chamber, our community at large, be excited about this merger of BTC with the Boulder Chamber?
Yeah, I think this is going to provide fantastic resources to our 1,200 Boulder Chamber members and the broader community. We have deep relationships with many of these organizations already. We're a resource that they call when they have questions. And so this is an easy way for them to access all kinds of resources when it comes to transportation needs. A lot of organizations are struggling with how to get their employees to and from work most efficiently. And right now, we're able to offer that under one roof at the Boulder Chamber.
That's so exciting. Well, speaking of the specific programs, I'm just going to turn it to you, Joan, and I'm just wondering, if you're a local business, what programs might be most surprising to them that BTC offers? And I also wonder, how has the mobility landscape in the services of BTC changed and adjusted under the circumstances of the COVID environment?
And thanks for this question, John. It's a really good one, and I have a very long answer for it.
Oh,
I
no.
will be honest. But I'll try and keep it brief. So I think the one thing that's so great about BTC services is that, a lot of the things that we do in the community affect people at the individual level, but we can also do a lot of things that can span company-wide to impact businesses that even go to 1,500 or 2,000 employee size level businesses. And when I was thinking about examples of things that, I've done in the community that I'm really proud of, that I think are really great examples of some of the work that we've done in the past, I think about this example. We have a program that we manage for the Macerich development in 29th Street. And, one day I was going back and forth doing some outreach in the community, and I ended up figuring out that an individual at a business there was legally blind and was trying to figure out how exactly I can commute around. And that's a really great example of, someone who, has a very specific individualistic issue that they need to try and tackle when it comes to commuting. It's definitely something that would be difficult for sure. But, we can also help people that are in a different business or a different situation company-wide with creating transportation plans. And that's something that we've done for many years at our organization. And I think obviously during the pandemic, our nonprofit has shifted a lot of the work that we're doing because people aren't commuting. And one thing that we actually did during the beginning of the pandemic that I think was instrumental throughout the region was we helped develop transportation telework toolkits. And that was something that we helped businesses with throughout the Boulder region, but also even outside of the Boulder region with just trying to get more comfortable with teleworking. We've always been a remote work organization, and we're very proud of that we've done that for 15 years as of last year. And, during these challenging times, we're here to help people commute or not commute. And we're just ultimately looking to get people out of their cars and take another sustainable option. And we are always there to support anyone with any type of need that they have, whether they're a business or someone that lives in the region as well.
Well, those are amazing services. And it is about those options that you're creating for our commuting workforce, or as you said, at times not commuting. Teleworking is a great option. And I know that our team benefited from the presentations of Boulder Transportation Connections that we did in partnership with you. So I'm really excited to have that inside and in partnership with the Boulder Chamber now. And I just wonder, Elaine, I'm just going to turn it to you. Maybe you can tell our viewers, how did they learn about these services and connect with BTC about what their commute options are for their workforce?
Well, we have a website, bouldertc.org, that has so much information about different programs. And I know for a lot of people, there's times it gets a little overwhelming. So really, email us is one of the simplest things. Joan at bouldertc.org, Elaine at bouldertc.org, info at bouldertc.org also works. We do have another web page that is solely dedicated to business ecopasses. So that's boulderecopass.com. I find a lot of people start there when they're saying, oh, I'm interested in getting the ecopass for my work. And yes, we are getting some of those inquiries. And as Joan said, in the last year, we pivoted a lot. We used to only host quarterly events as our main gathering points for the community. In the last year, we've realized there's so much that's going on in this community that we have been able to offer more regular workshops, events online. We do also have a YouTube page now, and if you just look for Boulder Transportation Connections on YouTube, you can still view those past events that we hosted. We had great turnout when, for instance, we had Deborah Johnson from RTD, because people really wanted to see what's going on. What are these new changes going on at different organizations like that? And not only do we do presentations like that to spread out to a wide, net for the community, we can do individual, workshops. So I get those phone calls, like as Joan was saying, an individual says, well, I'm having a hard time getting to the bus, figuring it out. We're more than happy to help you with those one-on-one things. But we love coming into businesses or Zooming into businesses to offer like a little lunch and learn and give you more information about what are the ways you can get to work, what kind of considerations might you have. And when we do those business specific programs, what's great is we will map out what's in your area, so you know where's the bus stop, what lines are coming there, how do I get to a bike path from my location, is there an easier way to walk or not, because sometimes there are still some burdens of walking. This one place in Boulder might be a little more complicated. What if you go a block south? Maybe it's going to be easier there. And we know a lot of those kind of details. So, we're just here to help.
I love it. That's such a great attitude, Elaine. And I will say this, just wonderful opportunities now for our members to connect even more deeply and easily with Boulder Transportation Connections resources. And I'm just so excited to have Joan and Elaine on our team at the Boulder Chamber, and just knowing that these great services are available to them, and how easy it is to access those services, not just the programs that are open to everybody, but also very individualized services. So I'm urging everybody to take advantage of these great opportunities. Well, now I'm going to just turn the question here to Chris, our great friend and partner at the City of Boulder. And in your role as transportation planning manager, Chris, I just wonder, first of all, as you're looking out to, over the course of the next year, what kind of new investments and programs is the City of Boulder initiating to help make commuting in and around Boulder more convenient? You are on mute, sir, which is the classic COVID-19.
I did it. So John, in the long term, I think I'm really excited about the ongoing work on 119 and State Route 7. These corridor improvements are going to bring much faster and more reliable bus rapid transit, or BRT, service to the area. And then also, like on 119, a parallel multi-use path system. So really excited about that. I think these future investments, combined with our very successful EcoPass program, are really going to impact travel behavior, especially for the non-resident employees, which are often the hardest to really get to change travel behavior. But in the near term, I am really, really excited about our shared micro-mobility program and bringing e-bikes and e-scooters into our community. What really excites me about this is the first and final mile. So, often the greatest challenge for using regional transit for our non-resident employees is once they get off the bus, they still have a distance to go. And so we're really hoping that the addition of e-bikes and e-scooters provide that mobility option to complete that first or final mile. So really excited about that. And it can also provide a new option for people for trips during the day, like trips to lunch.
Yeah, that's excellent. And I was really excited through the Boulder Chamber to be strong advocates for that micromobility strategy in partnership with you and your team, Chris. Well, let me just ask you then, just relating to the subject of this conversation, which is the integration of BTC under the Boulder Chamber. What makes you most excited about this new partnership that we've developed?
Yeah. So, this is something that I've been working towards for, 3-4 years, looking at a structure to make BTC even more successful for our community and for our employers. So, as you know, the city's transportation master plan goals are to reduce single occupant vehicle travel and increase the use of multimodal options. The job of a TMO, a transportation management organization like BTC, is really to conduct that outreach to businesses to implement these types of programs for employers to help their employees take advantage of the multimodal options that we have here in Boulder and regionally. Traditionally, TMOs like BTC, they work with a network of people called Employee Transportation Coordinators, or ETCs. Now, ETCs are typically or historically really not the higher up decision makers in businesses. They're strong advocates for biking to work or busing to work, and BTC has had a lot of success working through ETCs to establish EcoPass programs, van pool programs, et cetera. But I think with the integration with the chamber, the level of access that BTC is going to get is going to change. I know John Tayer is a VIP person, and he's got VIP access in the city of Boulder. And, I think BTC through the chamber is going to have access to decision makers, to CEOs, CFOs, people who can really establish the types of programs that really move the needle on employee travel behavior, because they're the ones that can put money into the program. And we know that financial incentives like EcoPasses, van pool subsidies, those are the things that really help change travel behavior. So to me, it's all about this new level of access. And I know you've got it, John.
Well, I'm going to hopefully get us into the door, and I know that Elaine and Joan will help me along the way. But it's really providing that service and information that I know that our leaders, business leaders, want, so that they can help share that with their workforce and help drive great opportunities for them to use alternative transportation modes if that's the most convenient option for them. So I'm really excited to drive that synergy of access, as you mentioned, but also just the whole notion of partnering together with the BTC staff team, as well as the City of Boulder, and being a stronger business voice for investments in our transportation system, in particular, alternative mobility options. So really very exciting for me to have this new partnership develop, and I'm just excited for what it's going to do, not just for businesses, but I think for our entire community in driving a much more efficient, environmentally sustainable, and convenient transportation system. So I'm just excited. I appreciate all of you coming on board just to help describe this new integration and merger. But I just look forward even more to the future work that we're going to do together. So with that, I'm going to close down. I'm going to come back to the speaker view here, and so everybody can focus on me for the closing comments here. And I just want to say, listen, thank you so much for joining us on Chamber Chat. Couple of things just to make sure you consider joining us on our YouTube channel. That's a great way to get notification of our Chamber Chats, but also to get all of our video notifications as well. great information resources that we try to share with our Boulder Chamber membership and those who subscribe to the YouTube channel. And also note that our chamber chats will be adjusting. We focus so much on the COVID-19 pandemic and the response and recovery efforts, but we're going to continue the chamber chats in a little bit different format and try to bring in issues and discussions and address business concerns more broadly as we look forward to the brighter days ahead, as hopefully that light at the end of the tunnel gets brighter with COVID. But still, we have to make sure that we're protecting ourselves because we're not done yet. Get vaccinated as soon as you can. Make sure to follow those public health guidelines while we're still trying to keep the virus suppressed. And one way to do that is to make sure that you're wearing your mask when you're indoors, when you can't stay 6 feet away from people. And we'll see you next time on Chamber Chat.